Thank you. My goodness. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for those heartfelt words from the Webster University. They were endearing. They were just so beautiful. So thank you for that. And I, of course, I'm working a little niche for myself. I always get to introduce Susan, so this is my time to shine. Susan, of course, was the oldest of the Polgar sisters and became a trailblazer because Susan was unique. She didn't play exclusively in the women's game. Oh, no. On the contrary, she played in the men's game, and she played very successfully. When I first played in my first Olympiad, it was the men's Olympiad. And that's what they called it, the men's world championship, the women's world championship, the women's Olympiad, the men's US championship. Today, they don't use the word men's. That's gone. They now call it the Open Championships. And why is that? Well, the answer is before us. Susan Polgar was not only successful as a female player, but she was one of the earliest and most deserving male grandmasters. It's really a very special evening, and for those of you who haven't visited the offices behind me, I urge you to go there because you will not believe the trophy cabinet case of the Webster University, and to have the Webster University team here this evening, that's also something very, very special. So with all of those comments, I just want to say, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Susan Polgar into the World Chess Hall of Fame. Come on.
Women's World Chess Champion Susan Polgar's plaque text states, born in Budapest, Hungary, Susan immigrated to the United States in 1994. The top-ranked woman in the world at 15 years of age. In 1991, she became the first to earn grandmaster title by norms and rating. Polgar won the Women's World Champion and Blitz Championships in 1992. Her victory in the 1996 Women's World Championship also made her the first Triple Crown winner. Polgar won 12 Olympiad medals, 5 gold, 4 silver, 3 bronze, and led the U.S. to second place in 2004. She was undefeated in 56 games played on board 1. Susan has coached men's college Division I teams at Texas Tech University for 2011 and 12, and Webster University here from 2012 to 2018, to a record 7 consecutive national championships and 10 consecutive years as the #1 ranked collegiate chess team in the nation. So it's a great honor for me to induct into the World Chess Hall of Fame Grandmaster Susan Polgar.
Thank you so much, Rex. Thank you so much, Julian, Beth, Emily, Yasser, John, dear guests, everybody who's here to support me tonight. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that this celebration is taking place right here at SPICE at Webster University, which I considered my home for the past decade or so, and of course will always be very dear to my heart. It's always a special feeling to be back. So many good memories, so many success stories that we wrote here together with Webster University, its students, with the current director, Lim. It also feels great to be inducted to the World Hall of Fame with Bent Larsen and Lajos Portis, both of whom I have got to know very, very well over my chess playing years. Bent Larsen was a dear friend, and so was his wife, Laura. Bent have been one of my seconds, actually, at my first attempt at the Women's World Championship. When I was in China, in Shanghai, China, and actually I won that tournament with 3.5 points ahead of second place, so very pleasant memories. And of course with Lajos Portis, I've known him since maybe 5 years old or so, or 6. He has been a legend, obviously, of Hungarian chess and world chess as well, but especially Hungarian chess. And actually, I have some funny stories with Lajos. We became friends over the years, although it started a bit challenging a bit because we played for the same team in Budapest, MTK. And he used to give these weekly lectures, lessons to the players of the team. But when I was just like a little girl, 5, 6, 7 years old, he thought a little girl does not belong around the table where he was giving his lectures. So a few years later, as I became a better player and made it to the A team of MTK, one day we were traveling down to Zalaegerszeg, of all places, which is his home city, and we would go with a bus, with a team bus. The team consisted of 14 players. He was board 1, I was the junior board, and of course the team manager and some other people. So we're on this trip, not too long, but a couple hours of drive. And I was sitting in the back of the bus, and one moment he came over and was congratulating me the progress I was making, and he was encouraging me, maybe one day I'll be a women's champion, maybe even world champion. And I told him, thank you, that's very kind of you. And he came with the best intentions. And as I said, by then he had some respect for my chess. And I told him, but you know, actually my dream is to become a grandmaster. And you know, at that time, we're talking about around very early 1980s. So I think there were maybe just about a couple hundred grandmasters at that time. And he told me, he burst out laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing I said, that how could a girl to become even one become a grandmaster? And basically he was saying something along the lines that that's an unrealistic dream, but maybe, you know, you definitely could become a woman world champion. Many years, about 10 years forward, 1991, we're playing in the Hungarian Super Championship, and which my sister Judith happened to win, but I played one of my nicest combinations with the black pieces, sacrificing a bunch of things, and very nice dances of my knights, and a nice checkmate. Whoever is curious can look it up. And I won that game against no other than Lajos Portis. So I guess I had to earn his respect over the years, and eventually we became friendly and played several more times, obviously, when we used to have those fun matches between ladies and veterans that the dear late Van Osterom was sponsoring. First of all, I'm so honored to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. It's a special feeling. This has been a year of reflections for me, and not just because I learned obviously about the honor I'm receiving tonight, but also because coincidentally I have been working on my memoirs this year, a book that hopefully you can all read around end of next year. But it's not a chess book, unlike Breaking Through, which is my previous book of my biography, but it will be no chess in it. So for all of you who are non-avid chess players, hopefully you all enjoy about the story, the struggles, the joys, the adventures that I lived through the past 5 decades through chess. My career started kind of accidentally when one day I was in our foyer and I was looking for something new to do. I was just about turning 4 and I stumbled upon some chess pieces in one of the cabinets, and I didn't know what they were. They looked cute, little figurines. So I asked my mom what they were. She said she didn't play any chess, so all she knew, well, these are chess pieces, but you got to wait until Dad comes home. He was a hobby player. He can teach you how to play. So something that started out kind of as an accident, it became a passion soon after, and eventually a mission, which I'm still living. First, I'd like to give credit to my parents. Obviously, without them, I wouldn't be here, and neither would be my chess career. My father was my first coach, and my main coach until I was about 10 years old. We were learning together. He discovered that there are such things as chess books, and as an adult, as somebody who used to play a bit in high school, he was ahead of me for some time, but we were learning together, and he was obviously a great coach. I also would like to thank my sisters, my husband Paul, all my coaches, sparring partners, sponsors, fans, and everyone else, friends, family, everyone else who helped to support me and make me accomplish the things I did. But my parents taught me a lot of things in life, obviously. But most importantly, they taught me the value of hard work. They taught me that dream big, and with hard work and perseverance, you can accomplish anything you want. There are no limits. And having that believe in hard work, believe that dreams can come true, stayed with me for the rest of my life, and I'm very thankful for them that they instilled in me the value of hard work and what it can accomplish. My career started early on, shortly after I accidentally discovered those cute chess figurines at age 4 when I played my first championship among girls, elementary school girls, which means up to age 11. I was just 4. And I won that Budapest championship after winning the preliminaries with a perfect 10-0 score. That started my chess career. That drew a lot of attention, obviously. Then a year later, I went back and played the same preliminaries as a year earlier at age 5. But I played against the boys. I qualified, I won the preliminaries without losing a single game. And then I showed up for the finals, just like the year before, for the girls' finals, this time for the boys. And to my shock and disappointment, I learned that my name was not on the list, even though I won the preliminaries. And sadly, the organizers informed me that no girl can play with the boys in chess in this tournament. Which is weird, that obviously weeks went by and they could have informed me of it, but they didn't, so I learned it right then and there. And that was my first taste of how difficult it may be in the future being a young girl in this male-dominated field of chess. Moving much forward, I had my first international challenge when at age 12 I was nominated to represent Hungary at the World Girls Under 16 Championships. Again, I was playing 4 years up, and I won that as well, undefeated. So that was my first international success when I got discovered internationally. Then 3 years later, at age 15, I became the youngest world #1 player. And then I said, wow, things are going great, despite the challenges, despite the difficulties of being a girl in this men's world. Most tournaments I used to play, I used to be the only woman player, later one of the very few. But then I was, as I said, #1 in 1984, then in 85, then in 86. And all of a sudden, the FIDE and the Soviets did not like the fact that a non-Soviet young girl is leading the ranks of the world rankings and not one of their greats, Garpindashvili, Chiburdanidze, or somebody else. And if you can believe, it's hard to believe even today that this got approved, but it did. They decided to gift, kind of as a Christmas gift, to all women players 100 free rating points. It's hard to believe that it's possible, except me, of course, except me. So they artificially took me off the #1 ranking. Now, by the way, even though they gave 100 points to Chiburdanidze and everybody else, I was still #3 on the ranking. So it's like, imagine that they would give everybody 100 points but Magnus or something like that. So I was getting used to the fact of discrimination, of challenges. The next thing that happened, I qualified in that same year, 1986, as the first woman ever to qualify for the World Championship cycle, the men's World Championship cycle, as it used to be called. And my heart was broken again a few months later when I learned that you cannot play. This is the men's World Championship. And therefore, I couldn't play. The good news is that thanks to those incidents, FIDE eventually removed the name men's, and today it's called the Open Olympiad or Open World Championship. And I paved the road to the next generation of women behind me. Thank you. Also, I think I want to make another important point that all these challenges, unfairness, difficulties, I could have used it to quit chess and do something else, but I always used it as fuel for motivation, to prove people wrong, to show that despite all the difficulties, I can overcome it and work even harder and show that girls, women can accomplish just as much as men can. Fast forwarding to my American life, which is more than half my life. When I moved here in '94, I had a dream. And I believed that we chess players dedicate ourselves just as much. We train just as hard as other athletes. And I felt it's unfair that they are being celebrated, they are being respected, they are household names, they got financially rewarded, like literally 100 times more than we used to be. And I felt that something should be done about it. I didn't exactly know how, but I felt that I'd like to try to do my share. And there were no recs at the time yet, unfortunately, in America. But that was exactly my dream, to find people like you, Rex, to support chess, to celebrate chess players, to give them opportunities, to make a decent living, and all those nice things, you know. Get media talking about chess. And one day, out of nowhere, I got a phone call and got introduced to, or reintroduced to Frank Nero, who happened to be the executive director of the US Chess Federation at the time. And he had that same vision and passion to try to get chess the visibility and recognition it deserves. Of course, he's a big lover of chess. And he noticed as an ED that only about 1% of the US Chess Federation at the time were female. And he knew that I moved to the US, and he felt that if he could lure me out of retirement, I could make an impact. So we met, and we discussed various things. And one of the things he brought out is, what if you would come out of retirement and play for the US team? I said, well, I retired many years now. I have 2 toddlers I'm raising. I just went through a rough divorce. There is no way I can do that. And then, you know, he was telling me, well, look at what Mia Hamm did with US soccer recently. Soccer wasn't a very popular sport, just like chess, not to mention women's soccer. What if you would come out of retirement, you come back with medals, maybe gold, maybe you could do the same for chess? Well, I said, okay, let me sleep on it. I was thinking about it, I was discussing it with Paul. Long story short, eventually I agreed. Obviously, it was a risky move for me to play, because not playing for that many years, who knows what could happen, right? It's pretty unusual that somebody would skip just 8-9 years and would come back and succeed. Fortunately, we managed to I managed to not only manage to come back, we won a team silver. We were really close to even get gold, but I personally did actually my best ever Olympic performance. In fact, had the best overall performance of the entire Women's Olympiad. So I'm glad I could contribute also to American chess after my other successes on behalf of Hungary. And you'd think that when the next Olympiad came around, 2006, the US Chess Federation would be eager to have me on the team again. Not quite so. In fact, they changed various rules and basically wanted me to play in various qualifying events, even though I was by far the highest rated American woman player by like 140 points. And basically, they did not want really me to play. So after all of that, I said, okay, I've done playing, even though I said, okay, let me do one last thing. And I organized the, up to that point, highest rated American tournament, the Mayor's Cup in 2006, where various members of the Olympiad teams played, including Gata Kamsky and Boris Gulko and others. And I finished second only to Gata Kamsky. So that was my 2006 in the summer last rated tournament, just before the Olympiad, but it didn't matter to anybody, obviously. And after that, I basically retired from my playing career. And that's when I set my eyes on some new challenges, and that was collegiate chess. And up to that point, there was no female head coach of any chess program. And I was asking how come, and they said, well, there was nobody good enough. Well, that's the challenge I needed to hear, as usual. And I said, okay, let me see what I can do. And as it was earlier mentioned, starting at Texas Tech, we won. We also started with nothing, obviously, from scratch, no chess sets, no nothing, no team, and build a program. In our first year of Division I, we made it to the Final Four. In our second year, we won the national championship. Repeated it the following year, and then we came to Webster, where we, I guess, wrote history together, and lots of amazing memories, 5 consecutive Final Fours here, 7 total with the Texas Tech ones, and many, many other titles on behalf of the students. I'd like to thank again Webster University for our amazing partnerships, our students, and I'm wishing Lim and the current students to continue the legacy that I started here at Webster in 2012. Again, I would like to thank very much everybody for attending. I'd like to welcome also the Bottas sisters, who also grew up throughout my foundation's tournaments. I've known them since they are 9-10 years old or so. Many friends who flew in from across the country, Marty Grant from ICC, other friends who flew from across the country, and special moment. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. I'm very honored, I'm very touched, and I'm very happy that we are here, all here at SPICE. Thank you, and thank you, Rex, again, for all you do for American chess. Thank you.